All right, so first things first, to kick off today's cannabis-powered yet sports-driven talk show. It's hard to deny the positive effect that cannabis has had on sports in the past and sports today as we know it. Cannabis is a part of sports whether you like it or not.
The Fantasy Football Huddle, presented by the Huddle Chat Sports Show and your host, Dallas Clark, also known as Indo is my Nindo. Everybody huddle up, grab a piece of paper, and get settled in. It's just about time for the Fantasy Football Huddle, presented by the Huddle Chat Sports Show and your host, Indo is my Nindo. Let's get it started, baby.
What is happening, baby? Welcome back to the Huddle Chat Sports Network's very own Huddle Chat Sports Network kickoff show here live Sunday, week 5 getting in. Right now we got that London game going on, and the Jets are getting tallywhacked out there like we all thought they would. Aaron Jones has already gone out with an injury. There's been a little bit of interesting things going on in London so far, but really it's just been nice waking up, crack of dawn, and just watching a little bit of football, getting prepared for this whole slate of games that we have this Sunday. And we have a big lineup for you today. As you guys already know, we like to give you that lineup advice, so make sure we get that chat going. Let me know if you have any questions on your lineup this week. If you have any stardom sit-em advice, if you have any waiver wire questions, let me know what you need help with this week. Get that chat going right away. And I'm going to be going through some injury lineup or some injury information up to the minute as soon as we get it here in the next 20 minutes or so from the first games. And then we're going to be giving you guys a couple of betting lines, and I'm feeling pretty fucking solid about these betting lines right here today. We might be able to pay our rent off of these bets that we're putting in here today. So we got a nice packed, delicious show ready for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shouts out to y'all. If you're watching over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. Travel on over to YouTube if you have the time and hit that subscriptions bar as well as that notifications bell. I got to thank you guys so much for all the love, all the comments, all of the subscriptions that we've been getting, all the likes. You guys have been totally blowing up my YouTube channel these last few weeks, and I absolutely love it. This is the season of the Huddle Chat Sports Network is really beginning to take off, and it's all thanks to y'all. Let's see what we got going on in this London game really fast as we get an update. Last time I checked, it was 17-7. Looks like it's still 17-7 right now with the Jets. They have the ball 3rd and 10 let's see here. 3rd and 10 on the Jets, 14 on their own side of the ball. So looks like the Jets still have some work and some moving and shaking. You got that touchdown from Aaron Rodgers to Alan Lazard earlier today. So we'll keep you updated on that Vikings-Jets game as we go. we're gonna go through we're gonna go through all the morning games really quick while we're waiting for the injury information. Starting off with that Panthers and Bears game. And if you guys didn't see my Stardom and Sid'em games, Stardom and Sid'em episode, I'm not going to be going through a ton of all the fantasy football stuff. You guys should already know this information. If you have any questions about any of the specific matchups that we have this week, let me know. But we're going to be really just making a quick run through everything this week when it comes to that Carolina-Chicago game. I think that Carolina really is going to get the win. You look at how this offense has looked since Andy Dalton has taken over. You're looking at Chuba Hubbard specifically. We're going to be talking about him a few times today. You're looking at Chuba Hubbard. He's averaging 20 carries, over 110 yards per game right now. For 2 straight weeks, they've been a top 5 offense. Chuba Hubbard has been a top 5 running backs. If you guys don't understand what's going on here, that means I'm telling you to start Chuba Hubbard this week. You're looking at the Carolina Panthers. I like Deontay Johnson as well a lot. Xavier Legette is worth some flex appeal as well this week. And then the Chicago Bears. Can we trust DeAndre Swift? I just don't freaking know. DeAndre Swift has been up. He's been down. He's been all around. But he had an amazing game last week. He's playing the Carolina Panthers defense, who have not been the greatest defense in football so far this season. So I think Chicago has a decent offense this week. You're looking at Caleb Williams potentially, if you're in a deep quarterback league, earning some startability. But I really think Carolina is going to shine in this game here today. Moving on to the next game, it's going to be Cleveland traveling to Washington to play the football team now known as the Commanders. I think that this is going to be a game where you're really going to have to, you're going to really see if this Jaden Daniels hype is real. Jaden Daniels, some people have been saying that he hasn't played anybody yet. Some people are saying that they've had an easy schedule thus far. This Cleveland Browns defense is one of the top defenses in the league, so I really think his merit is going to be tested today when you're talking about Jaden Daniels. You're looking at Scary Terry, Brian Robinson Jr., all in my stardoms this week. You're looking at Zach Ertz also. I mean, I know tight end has been absolutely impossible to predict, but I've seen in a couple of my leagues, Mark Andrews is being dropped, couple of different things going on. So I do think that you have the ability to start Zach Ertz if you need to. I think the Commanders keep things going today, but I also think that the Cleveland Browns offense is really going to get started today. You're looking at, Jerry Jeudy's getting a lot of action in this offense. Deshaun Watson he didn't start out very well this season. However, Deshaun Watson and this Cleveland Brown offense playing against one of the worst, if not the worst, passing defense in the league right now on a statistics standpoint. I definitely think that the Cleveland Browns have a good game this week. Deshaun Watson is even a startable quarterback this week. I think he is probably going to be a top 12 quarterback this week if the offensive line can keep the Washington Commanders pass rush away from him, which the Cleveland Browns offensive line has been kind of middle of the road. So it's going to be a coin toss to say today to see that. But I think that the Commanders get it done at home. So right now we got the Panthers to win, the Commanders to win. Dolphins, Patriots. I think the Patriots will get this win. You're looking at this Dolphins team, this Dolphins offense, and this Dolphins team organization as a whole right now has just been in shambles without Tua Tagovailoa, unfortunately. I think that the Dolphins have just they've been struggling to get it going. This Patriots defense is quietly one of the best defenses in the league. I think the Patriots really get it done today. I'm really also big on Ramondre Stevenson to have a bounce back game. I know he wasn't the most exciting player in football last week or in fantasy football, but I think Ramondre Stevenson has a pretty big game this week. Moving on into the Colts-Jaguars game, and that one's going to be a tough one for me today, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I keep saying as a Colts fan, I got to just keep my expectations low today so that I don't end up making a fool of myself in my living room, doing something I regret. Because we all know with no Anthony Richardson, with no Jonathan Taylor, the ball is already we're already on the opposite side of the 8-ball here when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts this week. However, when I do look at the fact that the Indianapolis Colts haven't beaten the Jaguars in Jacksonville and God knows how long, it's just adding in a little bit of sugar on top there that you don't really want to have to taste. But as a Colts fan, I'm going to have to taste it today. I know the Jaguars offense has not been that great, so hopefully the Colts get a good game this week. You're looking at how well Joe Flacco looked last week. Hopefully we don't get any flavors of what we got last year with Tyler Goodson dropping game-winning passes on 4th down or anything like that. Trey Sermon, Tyler Goodson are going to be running the running back position today. I think Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. have huge games today in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts. As far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brian Thomas Jr. I think has to be started today. The Indianapolis Colts are letting wide receivers just do whatever the hell they want right now. Brian Thomas Jr. I think is going to have maybe even a 100-yard game today against the Indianapolis Colts. Moving on into the, I guess I of course have to tell you guys the Colts are going to win this game. It's not going to be as high scoring as anybody would want it to be. I think 21-17 for that game myself. Bills Texans will be the next game in Stephon Diggs' revenge game. We're looking at Stephon Diggs, I believe, in back-to-back weeks now, playing in Minnesota and then now in Houston. So he's getting some really good revenge out of the way early in the season, which might be why he's starting so hot. I think Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs are both scoring touchdowns today. I think Stephon Diggs is going to be the number one wide receiver, and Nico Collins is going to absolutely kill it as well. But Stephon Diggs has got a lot to show against the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, got shellacked last week. And they definitely are going to be needing a get-right game. I personally think Josh Allen might be the number one quarterback in fantasy football this week. I think he's putting the team on his back. He's scoring 2 through the air, 1 on the ground with his feet. I think Josh Allen is going to go absolutely bananas today. But I think that the Houston Texans, they need this get-right game, especially for the Texans, if they are going to be nearly as good as people thought they were going to be coming into the year. I know they've had some struggles going on so far this year. However, I do think that the Houston Texans can this is going to be the game where you test, are the Texans a fraud, or are the Texans really that tough team that everybody thought that everybody's going to be playing with in Madden this year? I think that they will be, honestly. As much as I hate to say it, I'd love the Bills to win, but I think the Texans eke this one out in a very at the end of the game. Going to a couple of the comments, we got Salvador Sandoval, my boy. What's up? Thanks for checking out the show. So let's go. Absolutely. And we got Taylor E. Loke says, what's up, man? How you doing, big dog? Great to see you today. Eli Kelly said, Aaron Rodgers is cooked. I know Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm not going to lie to you. This New York Jets Aaron Rodgers experiment is not working out. I'm still looking at the stats on this game. It's still 17-7 right now. Jets seem like they're slowly moving down the field. They got right now 2nd and 8 at Minnesota's 48. So they've kind of matriculated down the field for about 25 yards. But man, this Jets, I just don't know. It's got to be the Jets, man. You look at how good they played last year without Aaron Rodgers, and they look like a completely different football team right now with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. You had the 1 week where you saw flashes where you said maybe Aaron Rodgers is back, but he still seems like he might not be the way to go right now. Moving on, we got one more morning game to talk about, and I believe I might be getting some injury information here soon. We got the Ravens-Bengals game, which I think is going to be the most interesting game to watch today. I think Joe Burrow, now that we're out of September, is going to light the scoreboard up. He's got to compete with Lamar Jackson. You're looking at that Ravens rushing attack. Derrick Henry's going to run over 80 yards. You're looking at Lamar Jackson probably running over at least 40 yards today. But I think it's been absolutely insane that everybody kind of thought Derrick Henry was going to be kind of eating into Lamar Jackson's production. However, even with Derrick Henry in the lineup, Lamar Jackson is getting his. And honestly, right now, I know we have the cute conversations, the Sam Darnolds, the Baker Mayfields. Those are cute. Are they realistic? Absolutely the hell not. I mean, they could keep this going all season long, and I'll have to eat my words here live on the show. But I think Lamar Jackson can definitely repeat this as MVP. You're looking at what he's been able to do with this offense, passing the ball, running the ball, handing it off to Derrick Henry. That doesn't take much effort. But, I mean, you're looking at what Lamar Jackson has been able to do. Nobody is on the level as Lamar Jackson. You're looking at Jalen Hurts struggling at the beginning of this year. You're looking at Patrick Mahomes struggling at the beginning of this year. All of the elite quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, all of the elite quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks in the league that you would think realistically have a chance to compete with Lamar Jackson for MVP are just not doing it right now. You are looking at Patrick Mahomes being 4-0 or whatever. I think a lot of the elite quarterbacks have higher win percentages than Lamar Jackson right now. But at the end of the day, there's not going to be any undefeated teams at the end of this season. There's going to be a lot of teams that have, 3 and 4 losses, and it's going to come down to, do you take Patrick Mahomes, who didn't have as good of a season, or led his team to 3 losses, versus Lamar Jackson, who had a much better season than any quarterback and led his team to 4 or 5 losses, but still made the playoffs, didn't maybe get the bye week, but still made themselves as a top seed in the AFC playoffs. I think right now, when you look especially among the quarterback position and among the teams that you're expecting to be in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson right now has to be the repeat MVP. Let's see real quick while we're pulling up some of this injury information. Let me know if you guys have any comments on your fantasy football lineups or anything that you need help with this week. Trying to see if we got this injury information. Sometimes it likes to come a little earlier than 10 o'clock, and I love it when that happens. Let's see what we got going on here. I know like Trey McBride was questionable with a rib injury and things like that, but We got to get the final information here today. Let's see what we got going on. All righty, so we're looking at, of course, we're going to start up at the top. We're looking at, I don't see anybody missing really from the Cardinals game. Doesn't look like anybody missing from the Ravens this week. Khalil Shakir is going to be out this week for the Buffalo Bills. I do know that. Yeah, it looks like we haven't quite gotten our injury report at the moment yet. We're still waiting on our injury report at the current moment. So give me just a few more minutes on the injuries here. Let's see. Looks like David Njoku is finally going to be playing. Will he actually make a contribution here? I do not really think so. Like I said, opening the show, Aaron Jones was ruled out with a hip injury. Doesn't seem too detrimental. He's still standing on the sideline in his pads. It's not like he was carted off the field or anything. Seems very reminiscent of the Anthony Richardson injury last week. You're looking at Michael Carter, cornerback, and Sauce Gardner both leaving the game. Sauce Gardner is being evaluated for a head injury, which absolutely sucks for the New York Jets with how everything is already shaken up. And that's just the news from this game so far. It looks like Anthony Richardson is not going to be playing today. He's officially out. Looks like Russell Wilson is still questioned. It's going to be a game time decision, so we're going to get that answer soon. But it looks like no matter what, Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback. Tyler Huntley will be starting for the Miami Dolphins today. Skylar Thompson is out. Looking at Joe Mixon surprisingly being out for his third straight game this week. I know that one's killing a lot of people. Are we going to get Cam Akers that we got in the first Joe Mixon injury week, or are we going to get Cam Akers from the second injury week? What do you guys think? Is Cam Akers going to actually perform today like he did that first week that Joe Mixon was out, or is he going to put up a dud like he did last week, and it's going to be a difference? You got Dameon Pierce playing. I don't think Joe Mixon – I feel like almost they should have put him on injured reserve damn near if he's going to be missing this much time. Let him really just take the rest. Looks like Raheem Mostert is officially off the injury report for the Miami Dolphins. Man, looking at them right now with Jeff Wilson Jr., Jalen Wright, and Devon Achane having 4 active running backs going into this game, which is pretty wild. But I don't think Raheem Mostert is going to have any fantasy relevance until at least next week. Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be healthy today. Austin Eckler is returning and working in a number 2 capacity. Zamir White for the Raiders is out this week with a groin injury. He missed the last 2 practices of the week. Alexander Mattison should have a good game today, but I feel like Alexander Mattison is one of those. You saw it all the time in Minnesota. Whenever Alexander Mattison was expected to have a good game, he would take carries from Aaron Jones all year long, or he would take carries all season long. And the moment that Dalvin Cook went out, you were looking at Alexander Mattison like, oh yeah, he's going to go off today, and he just would let you down every time. Also, with news that isn't really relevant to today's games, you're looking at Nick Chubb being designated to return from the PUP list, which is pretty interesting. We might get to see a little bit of Nick Chubb activity. I just don't realistically think it's going to be anything valuable that you can add to your fantasy football team. Jaylen Warren for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be out this week as well. And Cordell Patterson is out this week. So Najee Harris is going to have the entire backfield on his shoulders this week. Najee Harris might be in for a big game against a banged-up Dallas Cowboys rushing defense, against a Dallas Cowboys rushing defense that has been allowing running backs to do whatever the hell they want so far this season. I think that Najee Harris might end up being a must-start in your running back position, putting up running back 2 production at minimum today. Let's see here. Looking at Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Doubtful for Monday night. That doesn't really matter. That helps nobody. Wide receivers, Malik Neighbors is still out from the concussion this week. I know that I was thinking that maybe with it being a Thursday night football game where he got injured on, Malik Neighbors may be coming back. But it looks like Malik Neighbors is not going to be there today. Wan'Dale Robinson, if he's on your waiver wires, go get Wan'Dale Robinson right now. This is the week. I mean, you're looking at the target share that Wan'Dale Robinson already is representing. This is the week that if Wan'Dale Robinson really was going to get an uptick in targets that he was already receiving some of the most of in the NFL, this would be the week that Wan'Dale Robinson really could make his presence known with Malik Neighbors not being there. Like I said earlier, Khalil Shakir from the Buffalo Bills is out today. Keon Coleman is going to be the de facto number 1 wide receiver with Mac Hollins, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Curtis Samuel as the other ones. I really think Dalton Kincaid is going to be the guy to have from the Buffalo Bills today. Devontae Adams remains out. Is it a real hamstring injury? Is it not? Only time will tell, but he is not playing today. Neither is Rashee Rice after Patrick Mahomes exploded the knees out of that man's body. Still one of the craziest things that I've ever witnessed is Patrick Mahomes injuring his own wide receiver. I know it was completely accidental, but wow. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers, you're looking at Romeo Dubes and is it Dubes or Dobbs? Romeo Dubes is what I like to call him. Romeo Doobie and Christian Watson are out today against the Rams, missing practice all week for both of them. So it's going to be a big one. You're also looking at what wide receiver got suspended. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Romeo Dubes got suspended from the Green Bay Packers for contact detrimental to the team. Christian Watson is injured. That's the difference there. But I think that Dontavion Wicks, boy, I know I snatched him up off the waiver wire last night. Unfortunately, I had to drop Ty Chandler to get him. And, of course, Aaron Jones gets hurt the week that I dropped Ty Chandler. But we'll just have to run with it, you know. Brandon Cooks is placed on injured reserve, so he's out for the next 4 games. Odell Beckham, he's still on the PUP list, but he did just recently sign with the Miami Dolphins. Let's see here. Kendrick Bourne still, Rams. Cooper Kupp is out still, of course. You're looking at Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua coming back next week. Can the Rams survive while they wait for that to come back? Let us hope for Rams' sake. Tank Dell is off the injury report. He's healthy this week here. Let's see. And then just moving on to the last few, the tight ends here. David Njoku. Let's see here. Is expected to come back today, even though he missed a couple of practices. George Kittle is also expected to play today, as well as Evan Ingram being expected to play today. And I think Evan Ingram has a huge game against the Indianapolis Colts. He's made a career, for some reason, of playing his best football against the Indianapolis Colts. And the Indianapolis Colts have been letting pass catchers do whatever the hell they want so far this season. So Evan Ingram, if you have him on your roster, this might be the week that you want to start him. Trey McBride, like I said, is questionable with the rib injury, but he's expected to play. Let's see here. Luke Musgrave, even if he does play, is going to be sitting behind Tucker Kraft this week. And that looks like that's going to be it as far as our injuries. So it seems nothing terribly surprising there. A couple of really good information, actually. A couple of really good pieces of information, actually, in that injury report that we got there that give us like some clarity on some of the players when they're coming back and things like that. Now, let me go into a couple of these bets really fast because I want to make y'all some money today. So let's see. Let me pull it up here. I'm a little bit better prepared with my bets than I was last week. For some reason, last week I ended up actually losing my my parlay altogether. Like when I had it all prepared and I could not find it last week on the show. So I was scrambling a little bit, but we got a couple of big parlays here for you. Starting with one of my 2 anytime touchdown parlays today. I'm just going to give you guys all of my anytime touchdown scores, and you can parlay it how you would like with the ones that you're the most confident in. But these are the players that I am most confident in scoring a touchdown today. Derrick Henry from the Baltimore Ravens scores anytime touchdown. Kenneth Walker, scoring 3 touchdowns last week, scores a touchdown this week against an even worse defense than he played last week. You're looking at Kyren Williams. We've been cashing in on Kyren Williams scoring touchdowns all year. Let's keep that going. He's got the most red zone work of any running back so far in the league. So you're looking at Kyren Williams scoring a touchdown, cashing you some money today. Looking at Jordan Mason from the San Francisco 49ers. He is going to be scoring a touchdown today. And give me the running back that has scored 9 touchdowns in his last 8 games. James Conner is going to be scoring a touchdown as well. I'm also extremely confident in Jaden Reed today. Like I said, with those Green Bay Packers wide receivers being out. I also think Jamar Chase really gets in the end zone today, maybe even twice, but I think Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr., anytime touchdown. And Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown in the revenge game. That's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go with 9 touchdowns right there. You pick how you want to parlay them. If you want to parlay all 9 touchdowns together and make a bunch of money today, you do that. You want to break them up into 2 smaller parlays and see which one works out the best, you do that as well. But either way, these are the 9 players that I'm the most confident in scoring touchdowns today. Now let's go with a nice deep, just a regular deep statistical parlay here, okay? We're going Chuba Hubbard over 49 yards rushing. You're looking at him getting 20 carries a game, every game that Andy Dalton has played. You're looking at him getting an average of 110 yards every game since Andy Dalton came into this offense. So I think Chuba Hubbard easily gets that 49 rushing yards today. The next on the line is going to be Jordan Mason over 69 yards. He surpassed this line in all 4 of the games this year, and the Arizona Cardinals allow the 3rd most rushing yards per game this season. So Jordan Mason over 69 yards. You're also looking at Terry McLaurin this week, over 52 receiving yards. Cleveland is allowing at least 48 yards or more to number 1 wide receivers this season. And you're looking at how Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin have been working together this year so far. I think that's going to be a money line for you there. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. You're looking at, like I said earlier, this is going to be a bounce back game. I think Josh Allen throws 2 and runs 1 at minimum in a game where they really need to shake the monkey off their back. You got Deontay Johnson over 60 yards. He has surpassed this and in back-to-back. He has surpassed this in back-to-back weeks, and he's got the 4th highest target share in the NFL amongst wide receivers right now. And then the last line on this parlay is going to be Ramondre Stevenson over 58 yards against this Miami defense. They're, like I told you earlier, they are absolutely in shambles. Ramondre Stevenson should easily get that 58 rushing yards, or that 58 yards today. So that's going to be a couple of parlays for you guys that can really make you some money. Let's really quickly go through the afternoon games and the evening game, and I'm going to get you guys out of here so you can enjoy your Sunday. Moving on with the first afternoon game on the slate is going to be the rivalry, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. I think you're looking at this being a pretty similar game to the Jets-Broncos game. I think all Broncos games are going to be like this if the Broncos aren't getting their asses kicked. So I think that you're looking at the Raiders-Broncos. 10-17 at most. Broncos should get the win. I think they're the better team. They're a little bit healthier. You're looking at Cortland Sutton having flex appeal for you this week, having the 3rd most red zone targets amongst wide receivers right now. He's getting a ton of usage, even though he's attached to probably one of the worst top 3 offenses in the NFL at the current moment. I also look at this Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers game, and I think that one's going to be one of the most interesting games in this Sunday slate, probably top 2 most interesting games on this Sunday's games. And I think the best one in the afternoon should be America's Game of the Week, especially since the fucking Cowboys are playing on Sunday Night Football. So you don't have to deal with them on America's Game of the Week. So I think Niners Cardinals is Game of the Week this week on Fox. You're looking at the Niners. I think they should have an obvious victory here. They're starting to get more and more healthy as the weeks go by. The Arizona Cardinals will definitely put up a big fight, but with how the Arizona Cardinals played against the worst, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to get over Kyler Murray letting me down last week. They played like trash against the worst defense in the league last week. So what do we think they're gonna do against the best defense in the league? Kyler Murray better get it right, but he couldn't get it right on the great matchup. So I definitely took Kyler and I put him on the bench this week. I got Lamar Jackson on the bench, so it wasn't a tough decision. But we're looking at the next game, Giants-Seahawks. I think is going to be surprisingly good, but I think the Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf is a walking touchdown. Kenneth Walker is a running touchdown. I think this Seattle Seahawks offense, Geno Smith might even be a really good quarterback start this week as well. I think the Seahawks run away with this game for you guys. Looking at Packers-Rams, Jordan Love is back. And Packers fans have to love hearing that. The Rams still have not gotten their full health yet. So I think the Packers really just should dominate in this game. And then we're moving on into Sunday Night Football. You got the Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Dallas Cowboys should, for all intents and purposes, win this game easily. But we know the Dallas Cowboys, as my man Stephen A. Smith likes to say, they're an accident waiting to happen. They love to play down to their competition. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Justin Fields look like a fucking All-American today on Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys needing to score touchdowns late in the game, but the Cowboys should come out and really dog walk the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we all know the Cowboys do not make a history of doing the expected. Going on really quick, giving you an update on this Jets-Vikings game. If you haven't seen it yet, it looks like it's 10-17 at the current moment going into the fourth quarter. Jets came away with a field goal there. It's a one-possession game now in London. Now, last game on the slate is going to be Monday Night Football, Saints-Chiefs. I think that the Saints are going to be a surprisingly good team this year, as they have been. I think they're going to continue that trend against Kansas City. I think Kansas City gets the win. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes in primetime. But I think the Saints make it a really good game. Now, I want to do one more thing today because so far, you're looking at every week this year, you're looking at one of the biggest underdogs of the week coming away with the victory. I'd like to know what everybody's thoughts are on the biggest upset of the Sunday. What is your dark horse win this week? I'm trying to look at the schedule right here and figure it out. I think my dark horse victory this week is going to be the Rams over the Packers. I think that's just the most sensical one. You're looking at all the other games. You're looking at Colts, Jaguars. That's going to be a close game. I don't think it's really going to be an unexpected victory from either. I mean, the Colts obviously are the underdog, but it wouldn't be insane to see the Colts beat the Jaguars today. It wouldn't be insane to see the Browns beat the Commanders today. I mean, I just don't really think any of the games are really like, Bills, Texans. That's not really like a high upset. Ravens, Bills doesn't really have potential for a high upset. Raiders, Broncos, they both suck. Can I take a draw on that one? Cardinals, 49ers. I think Cardinals, 49ers could be fairly surprising as well. The Cardinals totally could shock the world and beat the 49ers today. But I think that the Rams get it done against the Green Bay Packers in LA today. That's going to be my upset alert to pay attention to this week. I'm going to run through that parlay for you guys one more time in case you missed it. We're going to run through it real quick. You're looking at anytime touchdowns: Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams, Jordan Mason, James Conner, Jaden Reed, Jamar Chase, Brian Robinson, and Stephon Diggs, all in line for anytime touchdowns today. Chuba Hubbard over 49 yards. Jordan Mason over 69 yards. Terry McLaurin over 52. You're looking at Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Deontay Johnson over 60 yards. And Ramondre Stevenson over 58 yards. And y'all are making some fucking money today. All thanks to the Huddle Chat Sports Network. If you haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscriptions bar if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening over on Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button and hop over to YouTube, hit that subscriptions bar. If you're watching on Facebook, how y'all doing this morning? And make sure you hit that follow button and hit that subscriptions bar over on YouTube and give your boys some love. Thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. I'm so happy that y'all willing to spend y'all Sunday mornings with me. And make sure you guys always keep your chins up and your attitudes down. This is going to be a successful Sunday for you. I love you all and have a fantastic Sunday. Peace out.